Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Nikolai, and this is review of Undecember. I know that this review is already late, but I think that my breakdown of this game will be helpful for many people that are getting confused by aggressive monetization or dangerous software protection that the game forces you to install. Immediate straightforward question that people were asking: can I finish this game without any single dollar spent on it? And I'll tell you, yes, you can, 100%. So, what is Undecember? It is Korean Diablo-like game that came out in the end of 2022 in Steam, App Store, and Play Store. It has a solid cross-platforming feature with two completely different clients of the game, desktop version and mobile version. Indeed, it is an absolutely different strategy from recent Diablo Immortal, where the company NetEase, together with Blizzard, decided to release a mobile version of their game on PC in the last moment, and just implemented an emulated game that is having horrible graphics and the same interface like the cell phones, lol. But let's not judge and discuss Diablo Immortal. In this review, I do not want to refer to this game too much because I feel like it's two different games and they are having different purposes in the late game. By the way, the majority of time I played this game on my iPad and was not able to record some footage from it, but I'll put in some screenshots and gameplay from the Steam version. Right now, by searching How Long to Beat website, the two titles are having different times in completionist: 55 hours in Diablo Immortal against 29 hours in Undecember, which means that the amount of content is spread out and most likely not that widely accessible for the audience. Also, the popularity of those two projects are very different. I finished on December and felt those 30 hours because I decided not to donate and just played as much as I could. The story was quite fast till Act 3, but after that the Korean grind began. The story, in my opinion, is very impressive and actually much deeper than any other game. It tells us the story of the universe where 12 beings rose from the void who shared the power to create Traum, our game world, and made the life peaceful. Everything was fine till the 13th being showed up, which was the evil god serpent, and it creeped out all other 12 gods. Nothing could stop the 13th, so gods forged the runes of essence that were also not being able to stop the 13th. After that, the 12 gods agreed to connect together with 13th and the world got divided. People were searching the ways through runes to return old gods, but nobody realized that the return of divinity and peace will also bring back the greatest evil on earth. And this is just a brief prologue that will turn into a great journey in huge 10 acts. Treachery, big colossal monsters, drama, sorrow, gods, fun but not that unique characters, an epic ending. What else do you need from Diablo-like free game? And now this is the perfect timing to switch the attention to the gameplay. I'm not gonna protect the game or say that all those negative reviews on Steam about pay-to-win mechanics are fair. They are not fair. I consider any single game that is having aggressive monetization as a curse of gaming industry. However, let's go into that step by step. The introduction of the game delivers us an experience from Path of Exile, where we learn runes, stars, and general combat mechanics. Everything feels very typical for Diablo-like games. Fast-paced, tons of monsters, loot, gear, magic, urines, and repeat. Gladly, Undecember is able to surprise the players with interesting bosses and a huge amount of different monsters. Every battle with a boss feels interesting and not that easy. You have to learn bosses' patterns, dodge attacks, use special potions, buffs. Very fun experience, and I assure you that this pace will stay till the very last seconds of the 10 act. There are no classes or professions, there are 3 major stats instead: dexterity, strength, and intellect, and the players will decide on their own which path to take. And this part is my most favorite because you can create a crazy set of combinations, rune fusions, skills mixings on the battlefield. My first character was a close combat summoner who was kicking those asses pretty well along the entire story. But in order to achieve good results, I was grinding pretty badly, I wanna tell ya. Every single skill, weapon, armor, rune can be upgraded, and you need to upgrade them constantly. Otherwise, after Act 3, it will be very annoying to go back to previous zones and grind them all again. And this is where the hugest con personally for me comes: the upgrades. No, it is not the lack of stash that the majority of players are mentioning in the Steam reviews. There is a way to abuse that mechanic, which I'll talk about later, but it is the huge amount of runes that you have to fuse, connect, and roll like a dice in order to get a good stats for your weapon or skill or armor. And this is where comes the major problem of this game. You cannot just re-roll the same runes because you will run out of them pretty quickly. You have to infuse an item or skill with a special grade, which is divided into normal, magical, rare, and unique. And after that, you start doing the typical Korean grind, the exact same thing like in Lineage 2. If you are that old like me and you still remember how after enchanting your weapon on plus 10 and then dropping back to plus 1 sharpening, you start over and over again. Such memories. The developers of Undecember remember their roots and ancestors, so they implemented that thing. You can start fusing weapons, increasing slots, rolling good stats like damage boost or good percentage barrier protection, and then boom! You receive some useless frost resist and you start all over again. Of course, there are plenty of different runes that you're gonna use throughout the game, and this is where the lack of stash complaints is coming from. So, as I promised before, I'll explain you how to legally increase your stash without paying any single bucks. The main stash, or chest, in this game is shareable with all other characters that you created on your own account. Everything you have to do is to create 2 additional characters on your account, which will expand your slots up to 300. And when your main stash will be full, you just have to log in to one of your characters and take out the items from your shared stash. I know this sounds ridiculous, but trust me, this is just the top of the iceberg. And the bottom of it is so deep that even 1 hour of review won't be enough to explain you every single detail of how complicated the donation system is implemented here. There are 4 battle passes that are completely trash. They give you nothing but a bunch of useless runes that you will use and won't notice any difference in your gear. The monetization is indeed very greedy. You barely can purchase useful things for $10, and it makes players to quit immediately after finishing the main story. And I did the same. I quit. I was not able to proceed any further just because my patience ran off, and I got tired of grinding and performing the same tasks with raids. They are pretty good, by the way. Daily activities or paying for a pet. You pay him so he can collect items for you, which makes the process a little bit faster. A late game is a drag and just not worth your time in my opinion. The overall expressions are surprisingly pretty good. The optimization of this game is fantastic. It works everywhere, on everything. The graphics are good, controls are okay, but the gamepad controls are still suck. Inventory management is comfortable and navigation through daily activities is performed pretty well. I can recommend you to play this game and just finish the main story, because after that you will face a paywall and just routine that will destroy your love towards this game. Thank you very much for watching it till the very end. Please join the channel. Subscribe on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram. In description down below will be playlists with multiple other games. Press like, put comment, and I'll definitely see you next time.